Hi, I'm Matt the Comedy Guy. You know, sometimes it's hard to tell how many times a series has changed, especially a video game series, and FNAF is no different. Listen, solve in theories of what the difference is between the FNAF lore, as they call it. However, whilst the two entities continuity and canonicity, FNAF wouldn't have much lore, or would it? Well, it would have, regardless of whether or not it had canonicity or continuity. But I can see that certain theories over the years has changed many times. And the reason why, because the canonicity of the games themselves has changed. From the first to the third game being about solving the mysteries, the fourth game making clear what happened before those games happened. Sister Location Pizza Simulator following the protagonist Michael Afton. And the current ones where it's all about connection to each game after the other. However, many people, including MacPat, has no longer changed what's going on in the series. So, the history of FNAF series actually did begin with MacPat himself. MacPat on the first four games in the series had made interesting theories, Maya's Dream Theory, and up until then he covered Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator. It wasn't until he covered UCN that things came really confusing. As you all know, this became the UCN is canon theory, where people think that UCN is basically canon to the series, or you survive against William Afton in some kind of purgatory-like state. However, today the sister lesson ends by saying a what-if tale. A what-if tale of something that might be happening or might not be happening by the release of another game. That game is a sequel to Help Wanted 2. And what if the entirety of the recent FNAF series, minus a few, from UCN and onwards, almost all of them were debunked by that game. In case you don't know, all of the FNAF games after Pizzeria Simulator had barely figured out what they need to figure out by FNAF 1 through 6. And the theories did not help either. You all know the story. They try to figure out theories that don't work and try to use the book to thinking that they do work. However, people don't need to entirely read the FNAF books to know about the canon of the games or what's actually confirmed in what you guys say is the lore. But the games themselves, unfortunately, because how little the games give, people unfortunately had to go to the books to explain certain thinking that certain things are explained in those books. But when the book started, it wasn't like that. Here's what people actually didn't know when people read what Scott Cawthon's called on the books being canon. He says, yes, the book is canon just like games are. However, it can't be fitted into two puzzle pieces. Basically, they have certain things in them that are not canon. At first, they were technically canon. The only thing that confirmed were certain names of certain characters that would be completely canon in the games. The confirmed name of who was known as the Purple Guy would be William Afton. His first victim would be confirmed to be known as Charlie. They then added to confirm that it was canon by Pizzeria Simulator of a character called Henry. Then they decided to add more characters to add on to confirm names of certain characters. Foxy Bro was finally given into the book to confirmed to be Michael Afton. His brother in the character's survival logbook is called Evan Afton, even though he's called Garrett in the movie. Elizabeth Afton dates to also in Pizzeria Simulator. This is the confirmed name of whoever controlled the baby, Circus Baby. And the last names of canon was finally confirmed to now be a canon name thanks to the fourth closet of Henry and Charlie to be the Emilys. But that's not just the only thing that's it. See, later on in Ruin, it confirmed that the Mimic was the only character from the books who was canonized in the games. He's also shown a bit of a retcon. And that's the rarest thing that was canon in the games that was known in the books. Everything else doesn't make any sense or wouldn't be known in the books or would have been shown in the games at all. For an instance, the whole robots pretending to be humans type of thing that was introduced many times in the books but never once shown in the games. People have unfortunately used this type of stick to try to prove Gregory being a robot, even though you can research that, and it says that the character encyclopedia actually debunked it by saying his page as being human. Google also confirmed that UCN, just like what I said, is not canon. So how do we do this? How can Help Wanted 2 disprove all this? Well, for a few reasons. One, try to prove that only a few things from the books are canon from the games. That way, it will not be confusing of which ones is or isn't not canon to games. Like, confirm names of characters and certain things that were in the books that might be possible in the games, like Remnant or Agony. And that's it. 2, trying to answer as much things that we never found out in the games. Things like who is Phone Guy, or any other characters that we never heard of in the games, or what year was the spring lock failure that was mentioned in the third game, or what's the deal, or the confirmed year of sister location, stuff like that. Third, add some new information from the games we never figure out, we never found out were actually true. You know, how certain things in the game in Help Wanted 2, in the game itself, to confirm other things in the games that we never found out, like certain years or dates of things that were never even discovered before. And finally, try finding certain things. Try to have a good or interesting enough retcons that we might have thought of before. Try to think of what type of retcons you can have. You know, try to have fun with it. And that's pretty much it for that video. I'm Matt the Common Guy, and I see you next video.